Hey everyone, it's Blair here at Time Trades. Thanks for joining me again. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a full end-to-end review of how I use time trades to identify opportunities and then time entries and exits. So let's start by taking a look at a different page here, the models page. What I'm interested in on the models page is what is moving, what symbol has the most activity in the near future. So I go over here to the activity rating column. Now TD stands for trading days, so this is in the next 1 to 5 trading days. Okay, and I'm interested in those symbols that have the most activity. So the number here represents basically the decile. It's like a percentile, but instead of dividing a range into 100, you divide a range into 10 segments. And number 10 has the highest decile of predicted activity. Now what predicted activity is it's just the addition of the probabilities, those 6 probabilities that time trades creates. Add those all up, compare it to other periods in that symbol's future, and if it's in the top 10% of the range, then it gets a 10. So what we're looking at is a comparison of this symbol's activity to itself. And one thing I notice here, here's a symbol I trade off and on, USO, United States Oil. So that is showing a number 10 in the activity rating. So we can go and click on the symbol here and it'll go directly to the chart. One thing I notice about the chart is it's not just the first 5 trading days where there's a lot of activity. It's like the next 25 to 35 trading days where there's a lot of activity. So this is a nice symbol where things could get very interesting here. So one of the scenarios here that I'm looking to do is just by looking at this chart, I would want to enter short. I would also want to take advantage of and use a time frame for my short trade that would span or cover this low, this forecast low down here. There's a forecast 21% low, and also up here there's a 41% forecast of a 2 standard deviation down day. Okay. Now you'll notice there's also some highs up here. So why am I ignoring those? Well, I'm not really ignoring them. But if this is correct, if this probability of a 5-day down day is correct, then the series is the symbol is likely to make some little spike pivot highs on the way down as it makes lower lows and lower highs. So that tends to appear during these, that is consistent, I should say. These pivot highs are consistent with an interpretation of a bear market starting in oil. Oil is also very overextended. It's had an amazing run here from 26 and lower up to 42. It's pretty popular and crowded trade. Everyone thinks that we're all going to be hopping in cruise ships and airplanes soon, and things will be back to normal. From a fundamental standpoint, a technical standpoint, we've got a near complete head and shoulders. So there's a lot of confluence here between this forecast and what else I see going on the chart. Okay, so how do we execute on this forecast? So what I like to do is go to the influencers and go to the lunar transits. The lunar transits are really the secret weapon in time trades, and this has made an amazing difference in my trading. So we're just going to copy this Pine script to the clipboard, and this Pine script shows where where in time certain lunar transits are happening. Not just every lunar transit, because there's lots of them, but the most important ones, the most influential ones. So what we're going to do now is we're going to flip over to TradingView, and we've got USO here open on TradingView. And I'm going to add this Pine script that was generated by time trades. Okay, so we're going to go down here, and if you've never played around with Pine script and TradingView, this might be new to you, so I'll go slow. At the bottom here, there's a little up arrow, okay, in the bottom right. So you can click on that. And what you want to do is open a new blank indicator, okay? So open new blank indicator. And Time Trades has done all of the programming for you, so you don't have to code it up. You can just paste what was copied from the Time Trades lunar aspects, okay? And now you've got 126 odd lines of generated Pine script, and we can just save that. Now I already have this in my TradingView, so I'm just going to overwrite the old one. But the default script name is going to be the symbol and then lunar transiting aspects. So yes, I want to replace it. And now we can use the Add to Chart button over here on the right to add this script to the chart. Okay. And now we start to get a more fine-grained view of potential timing. Okay. Now, one of the things that you can notice here is there's a lot of information in the mouse hover for the lunar transiting aspects. For example, over here, when I mouse hover over this, I get an English explanation of what the symbol means. Okay, so the symbol format is always moon, and then the aspect, and then the planet that the moon is aspecting. Okay, so this means moon, triangle means trine, or 120 or 240 degrees. That's what a trine is. And then the sun. Okay, so in this case, the moon is making a 240 degree angle, and you can see that in the mouse hover. It says moon trine 240, transiting sun, number 6 in pivot high. Now what does number 6 in pivot high mean? That means that this angle, this aspect, is the 6th most influential aspect over pivot highs. So if we go back to Time Trades, we can go and look at pivot highs, and we can see moon trine 240 over here, and if we go over to sun, we see 0.22, and a quick scan of this table shows that 0.22 is actually a very big number. You don't see very many numbers that are bigger than it. So this makes sense that moon trine 240 sun would be an influential aspect. Okay. But now we've taken it from that, we've lifted it from that table and put it into your TradingView chart. And now you can look at it on, say, like a 12-minute or, say, a 4-minute or a 1-minute and really get an advantage on your entries. Okay, so let's look ahead here and see what's going to happen with USO, because we have a bearish bias going into this. We're looking for a good spot to enter a bearish trade. Coming up in the future, overnight, I can tell it's overnight because it's a dashed line. Dashed lines occur outside of regular trading hours. So overnight here, we've got moon trine 240, the north node, which is number 8 in pivot lows. Okay, so it looks like there's going to be a likely pivot low overnight. That tends to indicate more often than not that there's going to be a gap down in the morning. And then we've got another pivot low. Whoops. Yep. So when I've got two of these transits really close together, sometimes it's hard to get the mouse hover correct. So I'm going to drop down to a 4-minute chart, and now we've got separate symbols, and I'm not going to get confused by the overlapping labels. All right. So we've got Moon Square 270 transiting Uranus, and that is number 2 in pivot high. So that's happening overnight. And then at 10:18 tomorrow, we've got Moon Trine 240 transiting the North Node, and that's number 8 in pivot low. So that's happening at 10:18 tomorrow. And then looking ahead even further into the future, we've got another pivot high as the Moon is conjunct transiting Jupiter. That's number 4 in the pivot low. So we've got some good opportunities here. Or sorry, I said pivot low. I meant to say pivot high. So the bottom line is we've got some good opportunities here to be patient on our entry. Okay, we've got the number 2 pivot high happening overnight. Okay, so there's probably going to be a gap up overnight, or a strong open tomorrow, right? That's one opportunity to enter into a bearish trade here. And then secondly, we've got Moon conjunct transiting Jupiter, which is number 4 in pivot high, and that's happening before the open on Wednesday. And then we start to see some of the down day aspects. So quintile transiting Uranus happens Wednesday at 11:34 Eastern time. And we can look ahead some more in the future here and scroll over, and let's maybe switch to 12-minute so we can see some more bars in the future. And we come to the end of this lunar cycle, and we see the number 4 down day with transiting Neptune up here. You'll see a lot of Neptune in these oil charts. Oil is a very influential planet Neptune is a very influential planet over oil. Okay, so what that means is basically, despite today's movement, I don't need to panic. I don't need to rush an entry. I can be patient here. I've got a couple opportunities to enter an a bearish oil trade. The first one is coming up tomorrow morning. So first thing tomorrow morning, I can take advantage of this anticipated strong opening, right? Because of that overnight pivot high aspect. If it doesn't happen, that's okay, because there's another pivot high aspect happening on before the open on Wednesday, and that precedes a down day. Okay, so I've got 2 opportunities here to enter this bearish oil trade. I'll just I won't chase right now because the puts are probably overpriced. But I thought this was a great example of how to use these features in time trades to do an end-to-end analysis. So I hope you found that helpful. Good luck out there and trade safe. Thank you.